Hey guys, Wolfen Game back today, bringing another video for our favorite weapon series for one of my favorite Warzone weapon builds. This is going to be the tactical H&K G36 assault rifle. So we're going to be converting this from the Holger-26 LMG or the MG36 into a G36 assault rifle. We're going to be showing you how to kit this out for best use in Warzone, especially given the recent buffs that this received in the patch this previous week. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I'll show you how to build this, the blueprints I'm using, as well as how to build it from scratch, how it compares to the other weapons, and then jump into some gameplay, see how this thing handles in a live Warzone match. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So here we have our final design for the H&K G36 assault rifle. Now I'm using some Franken-smithing here, so I'll show you how I'm doing this, but this is hands down one of my favorite all-time weapons in this game as of very recently. Using this, the mix and match we can do with the Franken-smithing here, this is a beautiful looking gun. So what we'll do here, I'll show you on screen, is the bundle that I purchased this particular blueprint, and this is the Necrosis bundle, which was as part of the Arachnid bundle, which was available in store for 1,600 COD points. I believe this was out in the beginning of Season 3, and it just came back through into my shop. And I don't think I saw it the first time. And this time I saw it, and I'm mainly focusing on the Necrosis blueprint here for the MG36. But again, it does come with a domino skin called Spy Games and some additional items there that I can cover in a video down the road for an actual blueprint build. But given that we're just building the assault rifle for Warzone for this, we're going to focus on the Necrosis blueprint that I'm building this from. But again, if you're curious what blueprint this is part of the Arachnid bundle, which was in shop here in Season 3 for 1,600 COD points. And I just went through and saw it again the other day and decided to go ahead and purchase it. So if we back out now, you'll see again, this is the final design. So what we'll do is go to our custom game, so where I already have this pre-built alongside some of our other weapons here so we can compare them. So if I come down here, we're going to be using the Necrosis bundle from scratch. We're going to be building this from. So if I go to my armory quick, you just see the different Holger-26 blueprints I have. Obviously, we have the base Holger-26, the Gilded blueprint, which I believe was in part of the Battle Pass for Season 1 or possibly 2. We have the Zero Coil blueprint, which we covered here in Season 3, and the Necrosis blueprint, which we'll be covering today. The G36C, these are just some custom ones. The G36C, my personal MG36, G36KA4, and my H&K G36, which we're covering here today again. So what I'll do is back out. This is the weapon, so I'm going to strip this down, and we're going to start with the Necrosis blueprint here at a base. So the attachments here that I'm going to run to start off, I ran this in two different attachments, and you'll see both in the gameplay. So to start off, we're going to run a mono suppressor. This is just going to assist with the sound suppression as well as the damage at range. And the cons here, the ADS speed and the aim walking steadiness. And again, I'll go over the buffs that this weapon received after we build the weapon, because you'll see this weapon is now very, very viable for solos, trios, and squads. So we'll go ahead and select the monolithic suppressor. Again, this is going to keep us off the radar, which is always important. Barrel, we're actually going to stay with the standard barrel here. We want that standard G36 barrel, and at length, this is the same barrel length that comes with the MG36 and the G36 assault rifle. So we'll go ahead and keep that. Now for the laser, we're going to go with a tack laser. Again, this is really personal preference. You don't need to run this, but I've really become a fan of these for a lot of my builds, especially in Warzone. So the pros here being the ADS speed, the aiming stability, as well as the aim walking steadiness. The cons here being that the laser is going to be visible to enemies when you are aiming down sight. So just keep that in mind. Now, for the actual design here, I'm going to use some Franken-smithing. We're going to go with the default. So the Necrosis blueprint tack laser is just a black variant of the tack laser. I kind of want to make a mixed camoed weapon here. So we're going to go ahead and select the default. We're going to get that tannish tack laser there for that. I believe it's modeled after a Wilson Raptor light almost, but we'll go ahead and select that. Now for the optic, again, this is really personal preference. If you've been watching a lot of my videos, you know I'm a big fan of the hammer sight or the integral hybrid here. You also have your custom sights specific to the Holger-26 being the 1x red dot for the FFS integral, as well as a 4x optic specific for this weapon as well. You can see down here at the bottom. But again, I did cover a lot of this when these weapons first came out, so I'll link all those videos down below if you want more information. But for this video today, we're going to go with the 4x flip hybrid. So this is going to allow us to have the ability to toggle from a 4x zoom and go back to a standard holographic sight. So we're going to have the two different toggle levels there for zoom optics, as well as the con here being just we're going to take a hit to the ADS speed, but we're making up with that elsewhere. So we'll go ahead and select that. Now we're going to stay with the standard stock. You can see the cosmetic differences here from the base, which we'll review more in a bit. We're going to skip out on the stock, as I said, the perk and the rear grip. And for the ammunition, we're going to swap out that 100-round C-Mag for the 30-round magazine. So you can see at base here, 30 round magazine. The pros here being the ADS speed, sprint to fire speed, movement speed, and reload quickness. So you're getting a huge buff by selecting the 30 round magazine. Now the cons here being the magazine ammo capacity. Obviously you're going from 100 rounds to the 30 rounds of 5.56 NATO. So we'll go ahead and select that. Now I am again going to Franken-Smith this a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and select the zero coal blueprint for the magazine here on the 5.56 by 45 NATO. So we'll go ahead and select that. You see we get a tan magazine here, and it looks really nice and aesthetically pleasing for the weapon. So we'll go ahead and select that again. We get the 5.56 NATO for the 30 round magazine. Now the underbarrel for this, I'm going to go ahead now. I covered this in my video the other day for the AK-74M. I swapped out the Ranger for a Merc on that, mainly because I believe Exclusive Ace and Drifter did some videos and extensive testing showing that the Merc foregrip actually was better for recoil control. Plus, you get the hip fire accuracy buff there as well. And I tested them out personally. It definitely does assist a little bit better on some of the weapons. So I've been running this a little bit lately. And again, you do get that buff to the hip fire accuracy, which really can't hurt if you get in a CQC situation. So again, the pros of this is recoil control and hip fire accuracy. Cons being the aim walking movement speed and the aim down sight speed. So we'll go ahead and select that. Now you can see we have a couple different options here. Now that the gilded variant of this just looks ugly, so we're going to go with the base for the black blueprint for the Merc foregrip. And this is our final design of the weapon. Again, this is the H&K G36 assault rifle using the necrosis blueprint. And again, you can see very similar to the gilded blueprint. Obviously, we just have a very nice standard black finish finally on one of these guns. So this is a very beautiful looking gun. We have the short or the low profile Picatinny rail on top instead of the full length carrying handle of a G36C with the Picatinny rails on top there for the handguard. We also have a cosmetically different buttstock here with a adjustable cheek rest on there, which is very nice looking. And again, we have some fictional designs to the handguard. We obviously have the same bipod you can see there right below the Picatinny where the tack light is. Same as the gilded blueprint. Again, very unusable bipod. I don't know why they kept that on there instead of just removing it. But again, it's all black, so it blends very nicely. And I think very nice looking weapon. And then overall, again, with the G36C, you have it completely ambidextrous. So we have our select fire controls and our mag release on the left and right hand side of the weapon are completely ambidextrous. And then obviously the charging handle there on top, you can see this is a fictionalized version of the charging handle compared to the base, but you can see there you'll be able to grab it from the left or the right side and pull that charging handle back. So very beautiful looking weapon. Now again, how does this compare to some of the others? I'll just look at the base Holger-26. You can see the same attachments on this weapon. And then if we just swap down, you can see again the major cosmetic changes from just the base Holger-26 to the necrosis blueprint. And again, it's much more aesthetically pleasing using the necrosis blueprint. Just a beautiful overall design. And then you can see the same attachments with the gilded blueprint. So you can see the similarities there. Obviously, we just don't have that ugly looking camouflage on there. We have a standard black finish, and then we can use our Franken-Smithing to make a multi-camoed type weapon using a tack light, as well as the magazine and some other features on the weapon here. So again, I'll go ahead and select this. And this is our final design. You know, you see me using this particular build here with the monolithic suppressor, mainly when I'm running anything but solos. And then I did run it in a solo build as well, and it definitely, I think it's very usable. The other option here is going to be a compensator. The compensator is going to assist with the recoil control. Not that this weapon really needs it. I think it's fine with the mono, but you can definitely try the compensator. Got to win with both of these. The compensator again is going to assist with the recoil control, which is going to go hand in hand with the Merc foregrip, as well as that longer barrel that we have on the weapon. The cons here, ADS speed and aiming stability, which again, we're making up with that tack light and some of the other attachments. So you can see how that looks. And again, I'm using the blueprint for the necrosis versus the base. So you can see the necrosis, again, we have a nice tanned variant of the compensator, which goes very nicely with our magazine, as well as our tack light on there. And then the 4x flip has a little bit of a different camouflage there for the 4x optic. So it just flows very nice. Great looking weapon. I used this particular build in one of the solo wins. I got 8 kills, and then I used the monolithic in another solo win, as well as playing with a buddy as mine, just to stay off the radar. But I think the compensator definitely helps if you're playing solos and not too concerned about being on the radar. As long as you're sticking and moving, this is definitely a viable option. And so right now, we'll go ahead and we can jump into the gameplay. I'll just show you what the camouflage on this looks like first. You can see it'll cover everything but the stock of the weapon. So the butt stock there, everything is going to be covered except for that. And we have a little bit of since we have that different magazine on there for the zero coil blueprint, it's going to be a little bit faded in there. which looks pretty nice. But again, I love the standard black finish on this, so that's how we're going to run it. So if we jump into gameplay, again, I'll be showing a little bit of just some squad gameplay so you can see what it's like engaging. I believe we were playing trios, just me and my buddy. And you can see with a 30-round magazine, this is obviously a concern right off the bat because you're going to be engaging multiple targets, but this weapon actually performs very, very well. I'm able to take out at least 2 enemies just with the 1 magazine, as long as you're not trying to thirst everybody at once. And it works out really, really well. Again, very accurate. You can really have good engagements up to medium to what I would consider longer ranges, maybe even 200 to 300 meters out, depending on your position. I was able to get very long-range hits as well as down players at a distance with this weapon. It handles really well, and again, it definitely excels in solos because that 30-round magazine, typically you're going to be engaging 1 enemy at a time, but there's a couple occasions where I've engaged multiple enemies and able to down both of them and get the cleanups as well. So, very good gun, very good rate of fire. Now, again, this weapon did recently receive a buff for the Holger-26 in general. So, overall, with the update this previous week, the Holger-26 received an increased movement speed, improved ADS speed, slight recoil reduction, which is definitely good. And then for some of the attachments like we're using here, the 30-round magazine, which is applicable to this build, since we're using that, you got the reduced sprint out time, improved ADS time, faster movement, and improved hip spread profile for the hip fire. And again, since we're using that Merc foregrip, it's going to assist there even more. And there were some other changes to the weapon, but mainly for how we're using it here, that's really all that applies. It really makes it perform like an actual assault rifle should, being that this particular conversion is turning it from an MG36 light machine gun into a G36 assault rifle. So, very beautiful design. I'm glad they buffed this. And again, like I said, this is, I want to say hands down my favorite weapon in the game right now. Just pure aesthetics of this weapon are just beautiful, especially using the Franken-smithing with some of the blueprints we have here to make this beautiful looking design. But again, the way it handles, very good at obviously close range when you need to engage at close range. Being the longer barrel, we don't ideally want to be engaging close range, but the rate of fire is fast enough that if you can get eyes on target quick enough, you can easily take them out. And again, it excels at medium, especially at longer ranges as well. You're able to take out your enemies, and especially if you're careful about how to mount this. So, had some good squad gameplay with this. And then 2 solo gameplays. I just happened to be in a great spot in the circles where I was in the high ground both games. I'm 2 for 2 using this in solos. And again, I had 2 really good positions, getting the high ground in the circle, and just movement was perfect. And I ended up getting a pretty good amount of kills, respectable amount of kills for a solo win each time, and taking out the enemy. But you can see that just the time to kill for this weapon is very nice, and I think it's right in line with what a 30-round magazine weapon should be, because we don't have anything beyond the 30 round of the 5.56 minus the 100-round C-Mag, which, again, your movement speed with that, not ideal, so I typically don't want to run that, especially because we have all the buffs that we just went over for that 30-round magazine. So, kind of a no-brainer not to use it. And again, like I said, using it in trios, I'm able to down more than one opponent easily. I've downed, I believe, 3 with 1 magazine if your shots are placed carefully, and obviously that's going to be dependent on what their armor situation is. But again, this is the H&K G36. I believe I put out a poll yesterday on the channel asking you guys which one you wanted to see first, the HK G36 or the AK-103 build for Warzone. And you guys voted pretty handily for the G36. So I want to get this one out. And again, I got the first footage for this basically all today. I've been playing around with it a little bit in custom matches just to get the feel for it and see what attachments I really liked on this. And I built it there, and then I used it really for the first time in Warzone today at the time of recording and then releasing this video, and I'm very happy with how this weapon performs and actually pleasantly surprised. So let me know down below what you guys think. Again, this is the HK G36 assault rifle, and I know a lot of people have been going back and using this, so I wanted to go ahead and revisit it given the buffs. And again, aesthetically, we just built a very beautiful weapon here, which I'm definitely in love with how it looks as well as how it performs. Just an all-around really great weapon. And again, so you can put the compensator on for solos, really personal preference, run a compensator or even a monolithic, given this situation. Really what your goals are when you get into a game is how you're going to play that game. Same with the optics. Really, it's personal preference there, whether you want to run the 4x flip or red dot or even an integral hybrid, which is another good one that I prefer. I really like the ability to toggle from a zoomed optic to a holographic or a red dot type optic. That way I can engage at the medium to longer ranges as well as close range when I need to. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave you guys with the gameplay. Again, this is one of my favorite Warzone weapons. Again, this is probably going to be one of my new go-to ARs in the game. And especially here, one of these solo wins you'll see at the end where I was on top of Superstore. The final kill, again, I positioned myself really perfectly in the circle there. I wasn't trying to camp. It just kind of worked out that way. Now that we don't have stimulus solos, people really aren't moving too much. So I was just in a position where I came back from the gulag, didn't have ghost anymore, and I was trying to listen to my surroundings and see what was going on and trying to hold that roof down. It worked out really well. And the last guy I killed was running that meta Growl 556 build, which I truly despise, and I hope they nerf that weapon as soon as possible. But again, he was running that meta Growl 556, and I took him out from the top of Superstore. So kind of a crappy way to go for him, but again, using that meta weapon, I think he kind of got what he deserved, in my opinion. But again, really good finish. This weapon overall handles really well. This could be one of the up-and-coming weapons, if not one of the, now that we have the buffs to this, could be one of the better meta weapons in the game. But I'm going to leave you guys with the gameplay. Again, this is the G36 Assault Rifle for Warzone. And let me know down below what you guys think of this, what you want to see for Season 4. We have a couple new videos coming out going into this week, being that it is the last week of Season 3. So I'll be doing my Season 4 wish list, as well as a couple other bundles and reviews for weapons and conversions that we have coming up. So big week coming as we push into Season 4. Leave your comments down below. And until next time, this is Buffner Gaming. Out.
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone. You're losing ground. No targets remain. Earns a win.